Angry guy here, and women are begging for men to rescue them from poverty, loneliness, and destitution as passport bros leave. So, this is a pretty interesting one, guys. Women are begging for men to rescue them from poverty, loneliness, and destitution as passport bros leave. Today, I actually have an article for you. I'm going to show you this article. It's very interesting. A lot of the Gen Xers constantly reach out to me and they say that women in their generation are now facing down like poverty. And they're like, hey guy, hey, I angry. I'm 52, 53, and the women in my generation, they're currently facing poverty and destitution. And it's intriguing because at 52, 53, these guys are still young. These guys have money in the bank. They're still making money, and they're living their best lives. But they've been talking about the women in their generation and how hard and the hardships that they see these women now heading into. And you have to understand that the reason why these women, if you notice, it's always like a lot of times it's these women in their 50s and even 60s that are going after the passport bros. But a lot of times it's these Gen Xers. And the reason why they're going after the passport bros is because they use these beta male orbiters to provide for different things in their lives, their food, and provide for food and different things they need. Let's just jump into the article. I'm 52. I'm 52, single with no kids, and only $190,000 in 401k assets. I don't want to die. I don't want to pass away alone and forgotten in my home. What should I do? So she writes in and she's asking about this, doesn't know what to do. And the author of this article, her name is Alessandra Malito. Okay. And, the person who's writing in, let's go ahead and explain it very clearly. She says, I'm 52 years old and in generally good health, single, no children. I was an emancipated minor, so I didn't get the best start in life. I subsequently went into IT and got caught up in the dot-com bubble bursting and was laid off 3 times in 3 years as one after another company wiped their IT departments out between 2000 and 2003. Despite all this, I own a home in a good location near shopping and halfway decent schools, currently valued at $275,000 and is paid off. My car and student loans are also paid off. My credit cards are paid off monthly. My total 401k holdings are only $190,000, and currently my income is about $40,000. I am looking for a better paying job. I put almost the max into a Roth and 10% with a 6% match plus profit sharing into a regular 401k. I have an emergency fund that should last 2 years if everything goes sideways. The past 7 years, my portfolio lost nearly $15,000, and I've even changed brokers. I am not a particularly aggressive investor, and I'm dismayed at the fairly constant losses. I even acquired a financial advisor, but the losses haven't stopped. I started putting money into CDs and T-bills on my own to staunch the bleeding, 4.5 and 5% APR respectively. I have a disability under the ADA, but not severe enough to qualify for Social Security disability, SSDI. That said, I don't think I will be able to work much longer. I am hoping to purchase a smaller house in the middle, in the woods, not far from my current house, and rent the current one out. Guys, she's planning to go out to the woods. And by the way, Social Security disability, she's not going to get more than $800 to $1,000 a month. That's nothing. Current rate reads about $2,000 a month. Even if I keep only $700 a month, I can live on that for many years. I can live on that for many years. For my many years living under or just above the poverty line. So she's actually spent years living living below the poverty line or just above the poverty line. I mean, this is insane. She says, my concern is that I have no family and nobody to take care of me should I need it. I don't want to pass away alone and forgotten in my home or neglected in a nursing home where nobody cares about anything but the money. I can't afford long-term care insurance, and I'm not sure what else to do to prepare for this. I do live in an area with a bunch of friends, and we've been friends for nearly 30 years. There's about 100 of us between Eastern PA and New Jersey, so Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. and we're starting to look out for each other now that we're all in our 50s and 60s. But I'm one of the youngest. I'll probably outlive most of them, and so can't count on them, count on that network. What should I do? Thank you. So basically, she has a bunch of Facebook friends that she keeps in touch with. Guys, these people are not gonna rescue her. Okay, these women are not going to rescue. She says, Dear worried Koopa Joe, I'm so sorry to see you so worried about this. This is a very legitimate and common concern. So first, know first that you certainly aren't alone in thinking about this. Although you say you only have $190,000 in retirement savings, you do sound like you are very on top of your finances, and that is an impressive accomplishment. Having no debt and paying your bills with a fully owned home are all wonderful tasks to check off before retirement. In this letter, I'll focus more on what you can do to be comfortable with your concerns about living instead of talking about the finances. Guys, I want y'all to understand what's really gonna end up happening is you're gonna have a bunch of these people, these old people. We have a bunch of these old people. You have a bunch of these old people who didn't plan properly for retirement, you know, wanted to live soft lives, and now they find themselves with nothing and no one to help them. They thought that the government was going to provide for them and give them 5,000, 6,000, $7,000 monthly checks for Social Security and all this, and things just don't work that way. In fact, you can't even like they'll by the time they're able to retire, they'll have moved the retirement age up to 70. All right, so to collect Social Security. So as if Social Security is even still around at that time, because it probably won't be. And guys, I'm telling y'all, what's really gonna happen? You're gonna see these people dressed in black. You're gonna see a bunch of old people dressed in black, going around causing trouble, talking about they want their money and the government needs to step up, and it's institutionalized discrimination against people of a specific group, and all this other bull crap. All this other bull crap, okay? These people, they'll be dressed up in black, you know what I'm talking about, and going around causing trouble and spraying and putting up graffiti and you're gonna have them looting and all this other nonsense. A bunch of old people, all right? It's a disgrace. It's a real disgrace, real disgrace. Okay, all all because they didn't plan ahead. For starters, your long-term plans, uh your long-term plan straight on, it's complicated, stressful, and sometimes uncomfortable, but getting a clear firm handle on what you want for your old age and potential health needs is critical. Whether you're single or have a spouse and 10 kids, your network of friends could probably even help you plan this out, since they are all probably thinking about their own situations. And if not, you're helping them out by starting the discussion. If you're committed to living in your area, what facilities are available to you, and would you be able to afford them? If not, what do the centers that are affordable, such as with Medicaid, look like? So basically, she's telling her, yes, yes, sis, you got this, sis, you got this. All right, you could find a nice old folks home. All right, you just have to do a bit of research, sis. You can find a nice retirement home, a nice retirement home. Okay, guys, guys, I told y'all, all right, this is what's happening as the password bros are leaving, all right, as the men are leaving. Plan B, plan C, plan D, all right, they can't even touch plan D. Guys are going to the Philippines too. Plan D guys are going to the Philippines too, going to the Philippines and becoming plan B. All right, they're taking that $35,000 a year, going to the Philippines, and now they're Plan B guys. All right, they're like rock stars over there, going to the Philippines, going to Thailand, and they're living their best lives, and they are never stepping foot back in Western society. They're not coming back. The men who go over there, the vast majority of these men, oh my God, the vast majority of these men that are going over there, they are not coming back. They're walking away. They've left, and they're done. The vast majority of these men that have left, they're walking away. They're done. They're done with Western society. They're not looking back. They have no intention. They don't want to be a part of this anymore. All right. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this content, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. Never miss another video again. Like the video if you like it. And it tells YouTube that you're enjoying the content and you want to see more of it, so they'll show you more of it. But guys, what this is really signifying is it's pretty crazy. Let's continue. Because she's telling her to go look up for a senior facilities website, look at their website, check reviews, make some phone calls. You may not need these places for very long, at which point there could be new places that pop up. What kind of foolishness is this? That she says this next thought might seem completely out there, but people really do it. Not just Rose, Blanche, and Dorothy and Sophia from the Golden Girls. Some friends that choose to room with one another in their old age with a network as expansive as yours. This might be something a few friends of yours might be interested in one day. You can't know for sure what will happen in the future based on age. Even if you are the youngest, some of your older friends could very well live alongside you throughout your elderly years. Guys, this is some rough stuff. If you're worried about being alone, another option is to make more friends closer to your old age. It becomes harder to make friends as you get older, not easier. This is crazy, guys. This is some delusional stuff, such as through community centers and events or volunteer work. You have to be careful also, because you don't want you don't want to take on someone else's burden, because a lot of these people are struggling themselves and you're trying to look for help. Even if you don't end up living together under one roof, having a network closer in age and distance could make you feel more comfortable about being alone in your home at older years. What the heck? Guys, this is depressing. You'll know that someone is not too far to come check on you or be a companion to you, and that in and of itself is a comforting thought. So basically, no man, no children, because you can clearly hear what she was saying is that she's worried about being alone, not having someone to be there for her. And this author basically is like, all right, sis, so you need to go and make some more friends. You need to reach out to the ones you have, or you need to go and make some more of them. And you ladies need to stick together because we're all each other has. Guys, this is some real sister. It's some real sad sisterhood stuff. Guys, this is some FEMA camp stuff. All right, these are the consequences. I've had the Gen X guys reach out to me and tell me that the women in their generation were headed for destitution. They were headed for poverty. Satan was coming to collect. They got their reward. They got their bag, and now they're going to get their punishment. And they don't want to pay up. And they're looking for every possible way to wrangle their way out of it. And it doesn't work. Satan is going to get his. That soul is his bag, and he's not going to let up. All right, they signed the contract, and now they have to pay the price. Nobody beats the piper. They think they're going to beat the piper. The piper's been doing this for hundreds of thousands of years at the very least, and they think they're going to win. It's not going to happen. These are the same people that are going to blame Jesus when things don't work out for them. All right, they're going to blame Jesus, and yet they think they're going to outrun the devil. These women think they are going to outrun the devil. They think all right. They got their rewards. Now they need to get their punishment, and they think they're going around the devil, and it doesn't work like that. Satan's been around a much longer time, and he's coming for his bag. And if you think you're going to stop him from getting his bag, you better think again. All right? You better think again. All right? They're going to pay. He's going to collect. He's going to collect. They can't run. Y'all can't run from him. Y'all can't run from him. All right? You signed that contract. He will chase you to the ends of the earth to get his. All right? And they think the government's going to save them. And they really know these beta male orbiters don't have that kind of money to be their come up. These beta male orbiters can't rescue them from poverty, can't rescue them from destitution. They don't have that kind of money. And the Plan B guys are all gone. The Plan B guys are getting up and taking off. Plan B, Plan C, Plan D guys, the Plan Desperate guys, these guys are leaving America too. They're going over to the Philippines with their little $30,000, $40,000, and over there they're rock stars. Philippines, Thailand, they love white guys. White guys are rock stars in Thailand. I've had black guys literally comment, like I've said it before, and the black guys have literally commented like, yeah, white guys, they love white guys over there. All right, White guys are going over. They're living their best life. Black guys going to the Philippines. Black, again, it varies. White guys go to Thailand. Everybody's, or wherever. They all go to Asia. They're all going to Asia. Some of them are going to little crap countries in Europe and finding women over there. Some men are going over to Africa, Ethiopia. I told y'all it was going to be an international competition. All right. Told y'all it's going to be international competition to take American men, and we're seeing that right now. Women from every country in the world, every country, all these other countries are going to be competing for American men, for American, Australian, men from Western countries. All right, it's going to be American Idol International. All right, how to snag a Western man, because these women said they don't want them, so all the women in the rest of the world, they're going to take them. All right, they're like, oh, all these ladies like, oh, we'll take them. You don't want them? No, we'll take them. We'll take them. No, ladies, no, you don't need them. They dusty as hell. They dusty. Listen to me. You're right. They're dusty as hell. We'll take them. I'll take 2 or 3 of them. All right. Listen to me. I will take 2 or 3 of them. You don't need them. You don't worry about it. I'll take them. These men, I will make sure they never bother you. Listen to me. If you don't get your butt over here, if you boys don't get your butt over here, stop bothering these women. Come on over here. You come over here with us, all right? Because because they say that we're ignorant. We're ignorant and all this other nonsense. So come over here. Come over here and because they say we struggling and we try to and this and this. I'm telling y'all, these women are gonna say things like this. Literally say like, oh no, they say y'all dusty and they say that we're all poor, that we're poor and ignorant. So it's okay. So we'll take you dusties, and you could take us. Take our poor and ignorant butts, and we can live, and we can make it work. All right, and we can leave, and you can leave the goddesses in their castle. All right, leave them in their dystopia. Because guys, this is exactly what it is. I'm telling you all right now. All right, you're gonna have women in other countries talk about, I'll take 2 and 3. I'll take 2 or 3 of them. In fact, I'll take as many of them as I can get. All right. And of course, the Western women, they're going to go absolutely ballistic because they're like, you're seeing them coming on social media, because what a lot of these women, they're afraid in the Western countries of their beta male orbiters leaving them, because these are the men that they call upon when they're hungry, when they don't have any money. These are the men who help to subsidize their income. If y'all don't understand, like they have one man that helps with the phone bill, another man or a couple different men that help with the rent. They have a man that takes them out to eat. They have a man that they can call up when they need their toilet unclogged. All right, because they were throwing things down there that they shouldn't be, and it's okay because he'll come and he'll clean it out, and he doesn't mind dealing with all that with all the poo poo water. And they're not giving him anything either. All right, they're not even giving him some butt. Because they have him there like a complete moron. But and they have another guy who mows their lawn for them. They have another guy. I'm telling you, they have men for different things. But as they get older, the men around them begin to thin out, and they can't survive without these orbiters. So now, they see the passport bros leaving, and they realize that their orbiters are taking off. All these friend zone men are beginning to look around and like, yeah, I'm just gonna like F this, I'm out. And they're taking off. So what they're doing is they're going and they're on the attack, and they're shaming, they're calling these men all kinds of terrible names, because this is their system. This is how they're trying to prevent these orbiters from ever thinking about doing what the passport bros did. But what they don't realize is that unless you are a super simp, nobody likes being treated like crap. So these men eventually are going to say, yeah, they're going to be like, yeah, they're going to run for freedom. They're going to run for freedom. They'll even tell these women all kinds of stuff like, yeah, sweetie, I'm coming. I'm going to come help you. Yeah, what you need? Yeah, girl, I'm going to see you on Friday. I'm going to take care of you. You know I got you. And all the while, these men are packing their bags, selling things off, because they don't have any intention of coming back. All right? And this woman is there thinking that this man is going to help cover the rent, bringing food for her, going to get her car done because she has a dude who's a mechanic, and he's going to fix her car up for her. He's going to come pick it up, take it, work on it, pay for the parts, then bring it back to her. And she's going to all this nonsense, and she's there thinking that everything is okay. She doesn't realize these men are selling off everything, getting liquidated, get ready to move on because they don't plan on coming back. Once they leave, they are gone for good. That's what ends up happening. A lot of these men, they go overseas, they never come back. I have one guy I'm working on something for you guys because I have different people that I plan to have on the podcast for you guys. I'm like setting up a whole lot of stuff in the background, buying you. I already told you guys that I'm buying a bunch of new stuff, equipment, and I'm gonna have people on to talk to you guys from different countries that have done this, that have been done the whole passport bro thing, and or that live or that are natives to these countries. And I'm gonna have them on to talk to you guys and like share their experiences and their knowledge. And there are people, there are passport bros who haven't been back in America since I've got one guy, and I think he said like he hasn't been back in America since like 96 or 97. 96 or 97. Like that's guys, that's like what? That's over 23 years. That's like 25, 26 years ago. They haven't been back in like in multiple decades, almost 3 decades. Like this is what's happening. These men are leaving the Western society, and they go overseas, and then they don't come back. And then you're like, how is this possible? They find a way. And these are the same women that are calling these men dusties. How can these men be broke? How can you call these men broke if they're leaving the country, taking a $2,000? They can afford a $2,000 ticket. And when I say 2,000, like $2, even $3,000, because like for a round trip, it's like to go, it's just like 1,000. To come back, it's 1,000. All right, that's what it is. So these are guys who can afford these tickets. They can afford 2,000, 3,000. That's fine. That's flying coach. All right, and there's a lot of guys say you should fly first class. You should always fly first class. If we're talking about first class, that's like a minimum of 5,000. Although a lot of times it's more than 5,000. 5,000, 7,000, 7,000, even more than that, even up to $9,000. And you've got these men doing this. And it's like, I want y'all to think about that carefully. And these women that they're calling them broke, they can't even afford a flight from Atlanta to Pennsylvania. And they're calling these men dusties and broke. All right. And these men are there living overseas, and they have nice homes, and these homes, big screen TVs, huge gaming PC setup. They got a PC setup for work, got a PC setup for gaming. They got they got all the video games they want. They have a wife, and children, or a girlfriend, or whatever. They don't live in an apartment. They live in a house, and a big house at that, multiple rooms. And I mean, they're living good. They're eating well. They go out to eat. They spend $10. That covers like a couple of different courses for 2 different people. I mean, I'm telling y'all, these guys are doing well. They have beautiful wives, beautiful children, live in beautiful communities. The weather is always nice. They don't have any of the stress. And that's another thing. A lot of these women are furious because they see that these men are living happy, wonderful lives, peaceful lives, all right, with beautiful women who show them love and adore them and admiration, and they have their children, and they get in their bag, and they're furious because they're like, no, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve to live this life. A lot of modern women, they have the sense like men do not deserve to live a better life than them. Like, you don't deserve to live a better life than me. That's really how it is. So they see these men living these lives, and then they see these women living these lives. First, they started going after just the men, the pastor bros, and then when that didn't work, they started to go after the women over there and saying that they're uneducated, saying that they're poor, saying that they don't speak no English, and all kinds of horrible things. And these ladies, they clap back at them. These ladies clap back at them. The Philippines is one of the largest English-speaking countries in the world. 93% of all Filipinos speak English, and more Filipinos. It's more Filipinos in the Philippines speak English than any other language, because there are many different languages in the country. All right, Tagalog is just one language. Okay, not all Filipinos can speak Tagalog. When you go to school, all the books in school are in English. There's no are you crazy? All their textbooks are in English. All right? The television shows are in English. When they speak to their children, they speak to their children in English. The little kids speak English. What do y'all think this is? All right? And these women are there talking, and these women, they speak better English than a lot of the sisters. I'm just being real with y'all. And not just, when I say sisters, I'm not talking about just the sisters. I'm talking about the sisters of the evil sisterhood. Be them black, white, whatever. A lot of these ladies, they speak better English than them. And it's just how it is. All right? And as you know, you look at the woman in this article, and what she's really saying is that she wants a man. She doesn't have a man, she has no children, she has no one, she has no family that can come and help her. And she's not getting anyone. And then you look, and I show you videos of how these women are just like, even in their like 60s, are being disrespectful and rude and saying that the men are low value, and like, it's like, what? And these are the same people that were out in the streets for decades, and now they think that they deserve the world, and now they're begging, and now you have women like this that are begging for men to rescue them from poverty, from loneliness, and from destitution. As Password Bros leave, people think that women just want their bag, and modern women, it feels that way because that's how they behave. But the reason why they're only focused on money is because they've always had all these orbiters around them. They could pick up they have all these guys on social media telling them that they're wonderful and they're beautiful, and their ego is through the roof. And then they have all these friends, so they're going out and they think that they can live this way forever. But eventually, the people move apart. This woman, she says that she has a wide range of a lot of friends, but they're spread out all over the place. And over time, guys, over the next 10 years, she says that she's one of the younger ones. Over the next 10 years, maybe a third of her friends won't even be around anymore. All right? Probably at least a fourth of them will be gone. But maybe even a third of them. In 20 years, at least a third of them, maybe half of them. Okay? Although, probably maybe half of them. Let's be realistic. Because she's one of the youngest ones, which means that most of them are probably around 60. All right? In their late 50s or in their 60s. She said in her 60s. So a lot of her friends are going to be in 20 years. A lot of her friends are going to be 80 or are going to be in their 80s or in their mid or late 70s. In 20 years, 20 years is not that far from now. All right? A 52-year-old man listening to this video right now at 72 is just chilling. I'm just being real. A dude who's 52 listening to this video right now at 72 will just be chilling. 20 years will just be chilling. And he'll just be chilling, playing his games, living his life, enjoying his peace. This is the real truth. All right? We know as men that, the guy that you are at 13 is pretty much the guy that you are throughout your entire life. The only thing that changes you are the hardships and the suffering that men go through in life. This is one of the reasons why men change so much in life while women stay the same. They continue acting like girls for so much of their lives while men are forced to change and become hardened because of how society treats them. When you meet guys that have lived fairly good lives, you'll notice that these guys are still act like kids. They still joke around. They'll still play they hit you. And no, this is how you're still like guys who've lived these lives. They still act like children. You still act like boys. But when you become an adult and you enter the world and you are and the world just takes advantage of you as a man, and men face the harshness of reality. That's what turns men. That's what hardens men. We're still that same 13-year-old boy. What changes us is what changes us are the harshnesses of the world. Like if you were a piece of crap at 13, you're usually a piece of crap throughout your life. You didn't suddenly become a hardened thug at the age of 24. That was something that was in you at 13. And that's something that you picked up. That's something that you learned as a kid. Like even at 6 years old, that kind of stuff was being ingrained into you because of your environment. You didn't suddenly become a piece of crap at 24. That was in you. That type of thing, that was in you. All right? If you were a decent kid at 13, then you'll usually be a decent kid. You'll be a respectful person throughout most of your life. What changes men are the hardships and the suffering that they go through. I remember I remember there was a guy that I used to do a podcast with. His name was Traversible. All right. And Traversible used to talk about this, about how divorce affects men, and how, people always know whenever a guy just got a divorce, because suddenly he's struggling financially, and things start to go missing, at work food starts to go missing in the fridge, and they immediately know who's taking it. Oh, it's the guy who's going through a divorce. He doesn't have any money. He has no place to live. He starts living in the woods. A lot of guys who go through this end up having to pay large amounts of child support. They start living in the woods. They start stealing. Then they end up in then they end up losing their job. Then they end up in jail. And these were decent. These were decent guys. These were guys that you once trusted. And and Traversible spoke to this guy, and he said to him, like, "How are you surviving?" And he said, he said, after you lose it, when you lose everything, and they take everything away from you, what are you gonna do? So sometimes I steal. He said. He said sometimes. He said sometimes I steal. I mean, guys, what do you think was gonna happen? It's like when you look at some guys, some men, it's society. When men become hardened and bitter and miserable to be around, when you end up with these guys that are just terrible, or that are really hardened on the inside, it's not because this is not because that these men are like this by nature. A lot of times, like if they were like that as a kid, that's how they are as an adult. But in most cases, it happens because of the things that happen to us. A guy that lives a pretty good life, he ends up maintaining that child inside of him. We end up losing that person because of the hardships of life that we go through. And a lot of that happens when men are also trying to go and get a woman, and have a life. Like, this is completely unnatural. The things that men go through trying to get a woman. Like, as a kid, you would get yourself a girlfriend very easily. Like, by 13, you'd have a girlfriend. By 13, you and this little girl, you're like, hey, she's my girlfriend. Nowadays, like, can you imagine the girls nowadays? 13-year-old girls looking for height. Like, it's crazy. You can only imagine the misery that these young boys are going through in school at this point, especially with all the crap that that's being pumped into them, mentally and otherwise. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Guys, women are begging for men to rescue them from poverty, loneliness, and destitution as passport bros leave. And I'm telling y'all, men are not going to be coming to their rescue. The simps don't have that kind of money. All right, these beta male orbiters, they don't have that kind of money to be a come up for these women, and all right. And I told you, a lot of the Plan D guys are going to the Philippines and over Thailand and overseas and over in these countries. They're Plan B guys. The Plan C guy, the Plan D guy in America is a Plan B guy in the Philippines, in Thailand, in Nigeria, in Ethiopia. All right. And various other countries in crap countries in South America, and whatever, guys. Women are begging, pleading, all right? And it's not going to happen. And people think, guys, that without these orbiters, there's more and more men, because women basically have like a wide network of men that are desperate to speak to them. But speaking to guys over the internet, that can't do anything for you, because eventually, these women at like in their 50s now and even their 60s, they'll still have these guys messaging them on Instagram. All right, but these guys want nothing more. These guys don't want to take care of them. They don't want to marry them. They don't want to do anything. These guys are just looking for one thing. You got a lot of these old dudes. You got a lot of young dudes who will hit up a 60-year-old. All right. This is how men are. You got a lot of 40-year-old men, some even younger than that have no problem hooking up with a 50-year-old, hooking up with a 60-year-old. I don't want to even go older than that, but we both know that there are men out there like that. All right? And they're not going to marry these women. They're not going to take care of them. They just want one thing. And they're going to tell them how beautiful they are and how wonderful they are and how special they are. But in reality, these men are not going to be there for them. And these women are going to find themselves alone at home, alone, without anything, without anyone around them. And it's going to be extremely depressing. And the older they get, the more, the more their friends their friends, go their own way, or they just don't have time to hang out anymore, don't want to. They have other things to do. They have their own problems. People move on in life, and it can be really painful. I've had to deal with it many times, where people who were my friends, or I thought were my friends, they moved on, and we stopped talking. And and I'm not the only one. It's like that for everyone almost. You're lucky if you can go through life and have just one good friend that is there to be for you, that is there to be there for you throughout your life, and help you throughout your life. It's, to have just one person, one good friend, or even one good family member. You've won, because most people don't even have one person. Most men don't even have one person. And women seem to think that because they have the orbiters doing all these things for them, that like these guys are going to be there forever. These guys aren't your friends, all right? These guys are a lot of these guys are just desperate. They're desperate. They have no self-respect, and they're orbiters, all right? And over time, these guys disappear. And there's so many of you think that for you guys that think that they're going to go onto OF, and they're going to get that bag off OF. And no, no. The average person who works on OF only makes like, the average OF creator makes less than $1,000 a month. Much less than $1,000 a month. Getting a foundation on OF is hard. It's hard. It can take a lot. It can take a lot. And the thing is, when you go on OF, you're done for. Because if you're going to be looked down on in society. Okay, you will now be seen as a low value woman for the rest of your life once you do OF. And a lot of people don't understand that. And you're not only destroying your name, you're destroying the names of your family, of your children, of your brother, your mother, your daughter, your father. They don't even want to be seen with you in public. You know, Riley Reid says that her father won't go out to eat with her. He will not go into public with her. Her brother will not have a relationship with her. Her brother said that he was getting mocked at school. Her younger brother said that he was getting teased at school and bullied at school because she was his sister. And she said that, well, you know what? It's his fault for telling anyone that for telling people that she's his sister. She blamed him. She took no accountability. She took no, I mean, like, how do you say something like that? She's like, it's your fault for letting people know that I'm your sister. Well, guess what? Now he wants to have nothing to do with her. All right? And now he doesn't want anyone to know that she's his sister. What does she think? What does she think? She's blaming him for admitting that that's his sister. So he should have kept it a secret. And now he wants to have nothing to do with her, and he doesn't want anyone to know that they're related. And now she's broken. Her mother doesn't want to deal with her. Her father doesn't want to be seen in public with her because he doesn't want anyone to know that that's his daughter. She has no one. Okay? Her family don't want to be anywhere near her. And she took no accountability for it. None whatsoever. And you know what the crazy thing is? She's still in the industry. She did not learn her lesson. She's still in the industry. She's still doing it. Now she's just like, to my understanding, filming only girl scenes with other women. Like, what? She married some guy. All right. I feel so bad that this guy would even think of doing something like that. But it just shows, maybe he didn't have a good father in his life, because any man with their masculinity intact would never do something like that. Okay. He went, married her. I think they had a kid. And she's not going to stay with him. She's not going to stay with him. You know, her name is like Ashley Matthews or something like that. But that's just a mask that she wears. It's like you know Bruce Wayne, Batman, he wears a mask as well. Bruce Wayne is a mask that he wears. Bruce Wayne is a mask that he wears in public, but the person who he really is Batman. Bruce Wayne is not really is not a real person. Bruce Wayne is a mask. The person who he really is, his actual identity is Batman. And Riley Reid, that government, that's just a mask. That's just a mask that she wears. But Riley Reid is who she really is, and Riley Reid will forever be for the streets. And these modern day women who've done these things, who have lived these lives, extraordinarily promiscuous lives for decades, and now think that they're going to turn around and go find a man to take them and provide for them and give them children and start lives, especially when many of them can't even have kids anymore. All right? It's just not going to happen. For a lot of men that are waking up and walking away, 52-year-old man, he's just starting his life. He's going overseas, and he's if he lives another 20 years, those are 20 years of bliss. If he does everything right, if he does the things right, he's careful. He finds he screens the women that he's dealing with, and he finds a decent woman. He makes sure that he has his business in check, keeps things on the lock. Make sure that keeps his finances together. Make sure that he's in charge. He'll live a good life, live a comfortable life for the next 20 years. Live a wonderful life. Live well, eat well, sleep well. Right? Great utility. I get hit by guys that went and found a woman back in the 80s, and they're still happily married to her. Almost 40 years later, when I get hit up by guys who tell me that they've been a passport bro since 1982 and I was born in 1983, that's like frightening for me. Like, hey, bro, how you doing, man? Yeah, I've been doing, back in I went over to so-and-so in 82. What the heck? 82? I was born in 80. I always respond like this, like 82. I was born in 83. Some dude's like, yeah, man, back in 1977. 1977, dude, I wasn't even in consideration. My parents didn't even consider me yet. My parents had not even met yet. All right? 77, what are y'all talking about? All right? Yeah, man, I was in Okinawa. I was in Okinawa back in 75. No, y'all need to leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. And then every so often I run into one of y'all talking about back in 69 and 68. No, listen to me. No. Get it. Nah, y'all need to step away from me. Now y'all going back to Martin Luther King and JFK days. No. Those black and white. I dream of. I mean, even I dream of GD was in color at some point. Y'all going back to those black and white days, talking about yeah, man, back in how old are you? How old are you? How are you still alive? How are you still alive? Like, I'm so serious. Like, there's some men who've been doing this passport bro thing for a minute, and they're living good, and they're alive, and they're happy, and they're thriving. Guys, that's another thing. That's another thing. When you live, one of the things that destroys our lives is the way that we live. I was looking at this article from a physician who's 101 years. He's the oldest practicing physician in the world, maybe ever. He's 101 degrees. He's 101 years old. The guy looks great. He still works out. On most days, he still does 3 miles on the does a brisk walk on the treadmill, 3 miles. He has 4 children, 10 grandchildren. Didn't mention any great-grandchildren, which is strange, but I suspect he has them. His wife is 89 years old, and she still works doing psychoanalysis and psychiatry. So she's a psychiatrist, evidently. All right? I mean, this is crazy. And he basically says that it all comes down to not retiring. People should never retire. If they do, they should keep a hobby. They should keep on working forever, because it's when you start to slow down and you stop stimulating the brain that you begin to go through decline. All right? And a lot of modern day women, they can't keep working anymore because they've burnt the candle at both ends. All right? This is a guy that lived a happy life, but he wasn't out in the streets. His wife wasn't out in the streets. These women, they've been out in the streets for like 30 years. That's why by the time they're like 30 years old, they look 50. All right? Because of all the illicit substance, of all the different substances that have gone into their bodies, and the lives that they've lived, and the fact that sleeping and the eating, the toxic, and then just the nature of it. They've burnt themselves out. And then they want a man to come and rescue them from their poor decisions. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. What do you think, guys? Women are begging for men to come and rescue them from poverty, loneliness, and destitution as password bros leave. And guys, again, if you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications to never miss another video again, and like the video because it tells YouTube that you like the video and you want to see more of this content, so they'll show you more. What do you guys think about this? I want to hear what you think because you know how I feel about this, but I want to hear your thoughts because this is your space. All right, I just work here. So let's talk about it more in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.